Hello everyone, welcome to Last Movie Us. Today I release 10 new and great movies, which will include action movies, thrillers, comedy, and biopics. So sit back and stay with me until the end of the movie. Number 10, The Wrath of Becky. The Wrath of Becky, a sequel to the 2020 action thriller Becky, starring Lulu Wilson as the badass teenage heroine. If you liked the first film, you'll love this one too. The Wrath of Becky picks up 2 years after the events of the first film, where Becky escaped a brutal attack by a group of neo-Nazis led by Kevin James. Now, she's living with an older woman named Elena, who shares her love for animals and art. But their peaceful life is shattered when another violent gang called the Noble Men break into their home, assault them and kidnap their dog. Becky is not one to give up easily, and she decides to take matters into her own hands and get revenge on the intruders. The film is a non-stop thrill ride that keeps you on the edge of your seat from start to finish. The action scenes are well choreographed, showing Becky's resourcefulness and determination. The villains are also menacing and ruthless, making you root for her even more. The film also explores Becky's trauma and anger, and how she copes with them through her art and her bond with Elena. The Wrath of Becky is a great example of how to make a sequel that surpasses the original. It has more action, more emotion, and more twists than the first film. It also has a great performance by Lulu Wilson, who proves once again that she's a force to be reckoned with. If you're looking for a film that will keep you entertained and engaged. Number 9, Superposition. Superposition tells the story of Stein and Tite, a creative couple who decide to leave their urban life in Copenhagen and move to an isolated cabin in the Swedish forest with their young son Nemo. They hope to find themselves as individuals and work on their projects. Stein is writing a novel and Tite is recording a podcast. But their idyllic escape soon turns into a nightmare when they discover that there is another couple across the lake who look exactly like them. And when their son goes missing, they realize that they are trapped in a loop of time and space where nothing is what it seems. The film is directed by Caroline Lingby. This is her debut feature, and she does a great job of creating a tense and atmospheric film that keeps you guessing until the end. The cinematography is stunning, using reflections and parallel imagery to convey the idea of superposition, the state of being in two places at once. The plot is not very original and it borrows elements from other films like The Shining, The Others, Coherence, and The Endless. But despite this drawback, Superposition is a very interesting and entertaining film that will appeal to fans of psychological thrillers and sci-fi. Number 8, The Machine. A comedy film starring Bert Kreischer and Mark Hamill. This film is based on a true story that Bert told on stage about his drunken escapades in Russia 20 years ago, when he accidentally joined the Russian mafia and earned the nickname The Machine. Sounds crazy, right? Well, it gets even crazier when Bert and his father are kidnapped by the same mobsters he ran back then, and have to use their wits and humor to survive. The Machine is a hilarious and action-packed film that will keep you entertained from start to finish. The chemistry between Bert and Mark Hamill, who plays his father, is amazing. They have a lot of funny moments and heartfelt conversations that show their complicated relationship. Bert also does a great job of portraying himself as a lovable goofball who gets into trouble but always tries to make the best of it. Mark Hamill is also fantastic as his stern but supportive dad who has to deal with his son's antics. Well, The Machine is not a perfect film, though. Some of the jokes might be offensive or insensitive to some viewers, especially those who are from Russia or Eastern Europe. The film also heavily relies on stereotypes. If you are a fan of Bert Kreischer's comedy or Mark Hamill's acting, you will definitely love it. Number 7, About My Father. About My Father is a 2023 comedy film directed by Laura Taruso and starring Sebastian Maniscalco and Robert De Niro. The film is loosely based on Maniscalco's life and his relationship with his father, who is an old-school Italian immigrant hairdresser. The film follows Sebastian as he tries to propose to his all-American girlfriend Ellie, but his father Salvo insists on crashing a weekend with her wealthy and eccentric parents. The film has some strengths and weaknesses, but I think the strengths are more prominent. One of the strengths is the chemistry between Maniscalco and De Niro, who play off each other well and deliver some funny lines and situations. The film also has a lot of heart and warmth, as it shows how Sebastian and Salvo bond over their differences and similarities. Another strength is the supporting cast, which includes Leslie Bibb as Ellie, Kim Cattrall as her mother Tigger, a senator, and David Rask as her father Bill, a country club owner. They all add some flavor and contrast to the main characters. The main point of the film is the message it conveys. The film shows how love can overcome cultural barriers and how family can be supportive and accepting. I would recommend this film to anyone who likes comedy films with a dash of romance and drama. The film is suitable for most audiences. Number 6, Extraction 2. If you enjoyed the first Extraction, you're in for a treat with this one. The action is bigger, the stakes are higher, and the plot is more complex. This time, Tyler Rake is back from the brink of death, and he has to rescue the imprisoned family of a ruthless gangster in Georgia, the country, not the state. Along the way, he faces old enemies, new allies, and a lot of bullets. The film is directed by Sam Hargrave, who was the stunt coordinator for several Marvel movies, and it shows. The action scenes are spectacular, especially the 21-minute-long one-take sequence that will leave you breathless. The cinematography is also stunning, capturing the beauty and chaos of Georgia's landscapes and cities. The cast is also impressive, with Hemsworth delivering another charismatic and emotional performance as Rake. The chemistry between the actors is great, and they make you care about their characters. The film is not perfect, though. The story is sometimes predictable and cliched, with some twists that you can see coming from a mile away. The dialogue is also not very original or memorable, and some lines are cheesy or awkward. The violence is also very graphic and brutal, which might be too much for some people. On the other hand, this is one of the reasons to watch this movie at all. Extraction 2 is a worthy sequel that expands on the world and characters of the first film, and delivers a satisfying action. Number 5, Kandahar. Kandahar is directed by Rick Romanois, who previously worked with Butler on Angel Has Fallen and Greenland. The movie follows Tom Harris, a CIA agent who is on a covert mission to sabotage nuclear program. However, his cover is blown and he has to team up with his translator, Mo, to escape from enemy forces and reach an extraction point in the city of Kandahar. The movie tries to balance action and drama, but it doesn't quite succeed in either. The action scenes are not very exciting or original, and they are often interrupted by long stretches of dialogue and exposition. The drama is also weak, as the characters are not very well developed or likable. Harris is a typical action hero who is addicted to his job and neglects his family, while Mo is a stereotypical sidekick who provides some cultural insight and comic relief. The movie also attempts to address some of the political and moral issues of the war in Afghanistan, but it does so in a superficial and inconsistent way. The movie tries to humanize some of the Afghan people, but it also relies on cliches and stereotypes. The only saving grace of the movie is Gerard Butler, who remains a charismatic and reliable screen presence. He delivers a solid performance as Harris, showing his physical skills and emotional range. He also has good chemistry with Negaban, who plays Mo with dignity and humor. The two actors manage to elevate some of the material they are given. Number 4, Beau Is Afraid. Beau Is Afraid follows Beau, a middle-aged guy who suffers from extreme anxiety and lives in a dystopian city full of chaos and violence. He has a plane ticket to visit his mother on the anniversary of his father's death, but he misses his flight due to a series of bizarre and unfortunate events. He then embarks on an odyssey of sorts, encountering various characters and situations that reflect his fears, fantasies, and traumas. The film is divided into 4 parts, each with a different tone and genre. A claustrophobic thriller set in Beau's apartment, where he loses his keys and faces a zombie-like intruder. A dark comedy that shows Beau's interactions with his therapist, his boss, his ex-girlfriend, and a random stranger who offers him a ride. A surreal adventure that takes Beau to a forest where he meets a group of hippie actors who perform a play about his life. A dramatic climax that reveals Beau's family secrets and confronts him with his mother. Beau Is Afraid is a film that defies expectations and conventions. It is full of absurd humor, shocking twists, stunning visuals and creative effects. It is also very long, self-indulgent and sometimes confusing. Some viewers may find it hilarious, others may find it insufferable. It depends on your taste and patience. The strongest point of the film is Joaquin Phoenix's performance as Beau. He delivers a tour de force of physical and emotional expression, portraying Beau's vulnerability, frustration, anger and madness, with nuance and intensity. He makes us care about this flawed and complex character, even when he does or says outrageous things. It is an original and ambitious work by Ari Aster, who proves once again that he is one of the most daring and inventive filmmakers of our time. Number 3, Mon Crime. Mon Crime is based on a 1930s play by Georges Burr and Louis Verneuil, and it tells the story of Madeleine Verdier, a young actress. who confesses to killing a sleazy producer who tried to seduce her. She hopes that this scandal will boost her career, but she soon finds out that she is not the only one who claims to have committed the crime. Odette Chaumet, a former silent movie star who wants to make a comeback, also confesses to the murder, as well as Paul Marid, a businessman from Marseille who has a secret motive. Meanwhile, Gustave Rabasset, the ambitious magistrate who investigated the case, tries to keep his reputation intact and prevent the truth from coming out. Mon Crime is a delightful film that combines humor, suspense, romance, and satire. The cast is superb, especially Isabelle Huppert, who steals every scene she is in with her over-the-top performance as the diva Odette. Danny Boone is also hilarious as the naive and good-hearted Paul Marid, who speaks with a thick southern accent. The film is full of witty dialogue, clever twists and references to classic cinema and theater. The costumes and sets are also gorgeous, recreating the atmosphere of 1930s Paris. Mon Crime is a tribute to the art of storytelling and the power of imagination. Number 2, Stan Lee. Stan Lee tells the story of Stan Lee's career, from his humble beginnings as a teenage assistant at Timely Comics, to his rise as the editor-in-chief and writer of Marvel Comics, to his fame and fortune as the face of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The film uses archival footage, interviews, comic book panels and animation to illustrate Lee's journey and his impact on pop culture. The film also features testimonies from celebrities, artists, fans and family members who share their admiration and gratitude for Lee. Stan Lee is a tribute to the man who revolutionized the comic book industry and inspired generations of readers and creators. The film shows how Lee, along with his collaborators like Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko and others, created characters that were relatable, flawed and diverse, such as Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, the Avengers, Black Panther and many more. The film also explores Lee's challenges and controversies, such as his disputes with his co-creators over credit and royalties, his battles with censorship and racism, and his struggles with aging and illness. Stan Lee is a film that will appeal to fans of Marvel Comics and movies, but also to anyone who appreciates a good story and a charismatic personality. Number 1, Daliland. Daliland stars Ben Kingsley as Dolly, who is in his 70s and living in New York with Gala, who is his muse, manager and lover. The film focuses on their turbulent relationship, which is marked by jealousy, infidelity, manipulation and obsession. Dolly is still a celebrity, but his artistic reputation is declining, and he struggles with his creativity and his health. Gala, on the other hand, is bored and restless, and seeks excitement in younger lovers. The film also explores Dolly's past, his friendship with Luis Buñuel, his rivalry with Picasso, and his fascination with Hitler. Daliland is a fascinating film that tries to capture the essence of Dolly's personality and art. Ben Kingsley gives a brilliant performance as the eccentric and flamboyant artist, who is both charming and infuriating. He shows Dolly's humor, charisma, insecurity, vulnerability, and madness. Barbara Sukowa is also excellent as Gala, who is a complex and powerful woman who loves Dolly but also exploits him. The film depicts their love as a twisted and toxic bond, but also as a source of inspiration and passion. The film is visually stunning, recreating the style and atmosphere of Dolly's paintings and the 1970s New York scene. The film uses surreal imagery, melting clocks, giant eggs and ants, to convey Dolly's inner world and his dreams. The film also has a great soundtrack, featuring songs by David Bowie, Lou Reed, Iggy Pop and others. Daliland is a film that will appeal to fans of Dolly's art and life, but also to anyone who enjoys a well-crafted and engaging drama. It is a film that shows the beauty and the madness of one of the most influential artists of the 20th century. That's it for today. Thank you for watching this video, and do subscribe our channel to see more videos related to movies and series suggestions. See you, bye.